Alright, so I'm going to see how long this Bluetti can power this Midea-U 8000 BTU window AC. And the temperature outside is 86. And so the air conditioning's been running for like an hour on itself. It has not been running off the Bluetti. Right now it is plugged into the wall outlet. And I've got a little clock there on top of the Bluetti. I just set it there to show the progress, because I'm going to leave this recording with the Midea running off the Bluetti. So I'll plug that in just a moment to the Bluetti. But the room size, alright, so this will give you an idea when it's 86 degrees outside about how long the Midea-U will run off the Bluetti EB55 lithium iron phosphate power station. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. So I'm plugging this into the EB55. I have the power on the EB55, the AC. So it's about to turn 1221. Let's see, plugging it in here. Alright, so that's just got power. Okay. So the Midea-U is coming on at 1221, powered by the Bluetti EB55. Alright, so can you see, the important thing is, when you see that display go out, that means it's done. It's run out of power. I can't zoom out anymore, so I'm going to, let's see, pan this up a little. Because the main focus, you've got the display here on the EB55, but that goes out after about 5 or 6 seconds to save power. I don't know that it really saves much power. It would be nice to see the status. What's interesting is it's showing an output of 11 watts right now. I'm feeling cool air. So I think maybe the Bluetti that I got, maybe the output isn't quite accurate, or maybe this is just an extremely efficient AC. Of course, right now it could just be the fan that's coming on and recirculating the cool air in the room. Now I'm going to turn this up. Sorry, I know it's been running for a minute at 70. I'm going to turn this up to 72, because if you're running it off of a power station, you don't necessarily need the ideal temperature, which for many might be 70. I think 72 is a reasonable temperature to keep it on, and it is 86 outside, ambient temperature. As you can see from the clock, 12:22, and so we started the test at 12:21. So we'll see how long it can maintain the temperature. Now the temperature was already down in the room because I'd been running it when I started the test. So I guess if you are running this off of a battery and it's an emergency situation, then it's probably going to be cool in your house because the power would have just gone off. If you're running it in a van or something, I guess you'd want to run it just as it's starting to get hot. Or I guess if you're running it in an off-grid situation, running solar into the Bluetti, you'd probably run it in the afternoon, hopefully before it gets too hot. So maybe this will give you an idea. It's not really having to cool down the room, it's just needing to maintain the temperature. Alright. Alright, so yeah, the compressor just kicked on, I just saw, and I just turned on this. But even with that compressor kicking on, that's taken, according to this, well, it starts out, it ramps up slowly. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's an inverter air conditioner. So it's probably going to average around 400 watts while the compressor's running. Wow, it gets up there. It's getting up to 500. Hold on. Look at that wattage go up. Let's see if this EB55 can handle it. It ramps up slowly, but then it kind of gets pretty high. Okay, it's still going well. That's definitely cold air coming out. I wonder if there's a setting. I wonder if they could do a firmware update and make a setting where the display stays on, just as an option. So it's going to 590, 600. Okay. Let's see. The inverter can go only so high on this. On the Bluetti EB55. I'm going to turn this on again. Let me just stand here and watch and see how much it creeps up to on the wattage. I guess we'll know if it suddenly stops. Oh, there we go. It's starting to go down. Well, there we go. Well, then it's getting up there. I wonder if, like this curtain, I wonder if that could affect it. Because this was not behind it before. Although it's just against the window. There's no parts. There's no air intake behind it right here. The air intake is right in front. And there's no air intake on the sides. So I don't know why the wattage, it's drawing more watts this time than my last test. Of course, I'm running it longer now. It's a good thing the Bluetti EB55 has that more powerful inverter. Definitely, I'm glad I didn't get the 12,000 BTU, or maybe it's the 10,000 that's the next step. This is the 8,000 BTU Midea U-shaped inverter air conditioner. I mean, if you were doing this on a van or something as your way of cooling it, you could easily just get a 1,000 watt inverter and use lithium iron phosphate batteries. But here, when you get the solar generator, or the power station, you are limited by whatever they install as the inverter. Oh, look, that power is going down. It's already gone down a notch. So it may not be, I don't know if it's going to be too practical to run it off an EB55, unless you had solar panels hooked up at the same time. That would be a different story. Right now it's not hooked up to any sort of charging mechanism. As you can see, there's no input watts. I wonder if this sort of thing could run an oxygen concentrator in an emergency. I don't know. I'm not advising it, but I think those use like 500 watts. Those oxygen machines. I guess if somebody has nothing else, they need something for a brief time. A Bluetti EB55, they'd have to do some research and ask their doctor if possibly it might just provide that bridge until the power comes on. Although I don't know those oxygen concentrators, if they have like a powerful surge when those come on. I need to get a stick or just hold my hand there. Just keep pressing that. Right, it doesn't look like it's going above 650 on this Midea. Now remember, I'm running this off of the AC plug. This is not a 12 volt unit, so the AC for this, in my experience, not the most efficient AC inverter here on this Bluetti EB55 that I purchased. I purchased it new, but it ran my CPAP machine off of 12 volts a lot longer. I didn't get the exact times. I'll have to do that later. And just do a general inverter test on this unit. I don't know how much variance there is unit to unit. I guess you could do like a daisy chain if you have a Bluetti EB55 and also maybe another Bluetti EB55, but why not just buy a bigger power station? But if you haven't, I guess you could charge it off another power station while this is able to run the Midea-U air conditioner or whatever you have plugged in that's in this wattage range and extend the life. You know, or I guess just get a 12 volt battery, plug it into that charger or the input here while you're running this. You know, just get that interface. So there's different ways to keep it going, you know, even if the battery capacity isn't designed for long-term powering a window AC. And of course it does have the flow-through charging on the EB55, from what I understand. It's not like I've tested that personally, but I've read and understand that you can have something plugged in while you're charging it off of solar or some other method. Alright, so it looks like it's still not getting up to, or not getting above that 630s range, so that's good. And that compressor's been going full steam. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it heated up somewhere outside. I don't have my phone in this room, but maybe getting hotter out there, maybe closer to 90. Alright, so I'm going to leave it here. It seems to be stable, not approaching 700 watts. So this might just be like a, I don't know, an hour test. Maybe probably less. Who knows? Depends on when that compressor turns off. And I just realized, the light bulbs in our ceiling fan here are the old-fashioned incandescent type. So, I mean, they're not a high wattage, but just to be as efficient as I can, I'm going to leave that the overhead light off, especially since I have I think you can see well enough. So I'm going to leave that overhead light off just to keep the temperature down. I thought they were LEDs, but it's the old-fashioned filament type in our ceiling fan. Alright, and it's still, it actually went down to 85 outside. It was 86 earlier, so I thought it was hotter. Let's see. Okay, so it's down to 393. It'd be great if I had this display on. Wow, we're down to 2 bars now. And it's 12:58. We started at 12:21. Huh. So you may not be able to run this too long off of the Bluetti itself, unless you have some solar panels plugged in. I have a Boujar V180. I don't know. I'm going to be plugging it in today to test that out. I'm just running it off the EB55 battery, which started out at 100%. And now it's down to, well, I know it's huge increments, so around 40%. It's at the 40% bar after 38 minutes. Alright, so 85 outside. Started at 12:21. Now it's 12:59. Right now it's taking 399 watts. Alright. I don't know if I might come back upstairs in about 10 minutes. I don't know how much power is left. I don't know if it goes faster with the lower increments. I don't know how well they designed that measuring system there. All right. So it's still going at 1311. Up down to the last bar. 555 watts or so. I expected it to not be running the compressor so much, but it's weird. I guess in the afternoon when it's 85, it just keeps going with that compressor. And also this room is the only one being cooled, so it's not like the surrounding rooms are cooled. Well, there we go, it shut off. Wow, so 1311. So 50 minutes. That's how long it runs in these conditions off of the Bluetti EB55. I believe that was 12:21 when it started, and now it's 13:11 or 13:12, but it was 13:11 when it stopped. Okay.